Good morning. Sorry I'm not there with you guys. It's my turn to stay home with the sick kids. So on Friday, your assignment was on page 42, numbers 23 to 27, and we will go back over those when I return, so just hold on to those. For today, your question of the day, your at the bell, involves a heavy ball attached to a string, and there is a razor that the ball will run into as it's swinging. So it says, the ball at the end of the string swings to its lowest point. The string is cut by a sharp razor. So thinking back to what we did last week with inertia and different forces, what do you think the ball is going to do when we get rid of the string that is providing some tension? Right. So which path will the ball follow? A, B, or C? A minute to think that over. All right, and the answer is B. At the moment the string is cut, the ball is moving horizontally. After the string is cut, there are no forces horizontally, but the ball continues horizontally at a constant speed. So its inertia continues the forward motion there. However, there is the force of gravity, which causes the ball to start to accelerate downward. So the ball gains speed in the downward direction. The combination of the horizontal speed and the downward speed produces a curved path called a parabola. The ball continues along a parabolic path B. So these drawings should look familiar to you. It shows that the combination of the horizontal motion and the downward motion create the kind of diagonalish trend, and it creates an overall curve that the ball takes. And we will be moving on to parabolic motion soon. Okay, so today, what you'll need to do after you finish watching this instructional portion of the video is to get a computer from the back of the room and go to the Google Classroom. Now, this video is for second and third period physics, but I'm going to be using the second period Google Classroom as your first, but third period you guys are doing the same thing. The posts will look the same. Okay. At the top of the feed, the stream, you'll see several things posted, and you'll want to open the assignment to get to the instructions. It says open your copy of the document, follow the directions in the link provided. Be sure to answer your questions on the document in complete sentences. Be sure numbers have units. This is a preview of the site that we will use for a couple other activities. So make yourself familiar with the different settings and options. And the second document is a resource for you. So this first document that has a little cartoon of me on it, everyone should have their own copy of this. And today in class, you will do what it says, follow the directions, and where it asks you a question, type your answer directly on this paper. Make sure to put your name on the name line, okay? This is going to take you to the PHET site, and these are interactive simulations. So we did 3 different labs last week, and you were asked to sketch vector diagrams. But in real life, you can't see the arrows. So on this simulation, you can see the motion with the arrows. So there's a few different options on this website. The first activity takes you through the basics. So it says, click the round play button, which you just saw me do in the video. And then the screenshot next takes you to this menu screen for net force. There's also motion, friction, and acceleration. So depending on the assignment, you might use more than one of these different parts of force and motion. We're going to start with net force. So you double click on the net force, and you need to drag the people onto this kind of tug-of-war cart, and you can see that this guy has less mass, so his arrow is smaller. This guy has more mass, so his arrow is bigger. If you click on the sum of the forces, it will tell you which direction is going to have more newtons when you go to combine these forces to find the net. The values will give you the actual amount of newtons that they are trying to simulate, and they will give you a relative speed. They don't put like miles per hour or meters per second. You can just see if it's moving really fast or if it's not moving very fast. When you want to test out what you have set up, you click the go button and they do the thing, they do the pulling. And when they're all done, it'll tell you who wins, it'll tell you by how many newtons. You can return them to the start, or you can put everything back the way it went, the way it was, by pushing this orange like return arrow. This document will walk you through different scenarios. Anywhere that you see like bold and highlighting, you'll want to put your cursor and type your answer so that it's easier for me to see. Please pick a color to type in, not yellow, because I have old eyes, not this obnoxious blue either. Pick a nice dark color to type in so that I can see that you have your answers there. And it'll walk you through some very basic functions of the site. That's all that's in this first part. If we look at the Google Classroom, this PDF here, this is not any assignment. It just explains what the different things you see on the screen are showing you. So in the NetForce screen, it explains what the different buttons do. There's also an explanation of the motion screen, which was the next one on the menu when you first got on the site, as well as the frictions screen and the acceleration screen. There's also some explanation. You may or may not find those useful. I found the screenshots with the labels to be helpful when I'm looking for something. It's there for you to use. If you just want to click around, you can't hurt anything. Feel free to click around. If you want to go back to the main menu, you click the little house at the bottom of the screen and it takes you back to the main menu. The next thing that you'll see in the Google Classroom, which I lost, is a lab that you have printed out. You can't type on this. This link takes you to an old spot, but start with the number 2, and on the paper that the sub is handing out to you that I left out on the main table up there, go through the questions, and this time it's going to take you past the NetForce screen and move you on to the motion option of the website. So you'll go back to the main house with all of the options, go to the motion part, follow the directions on the screen and on the paper, depending on what you're looking at. In this part, part 12, it asks you to use a stopwatch with actual time instead of just relative time. So like this speed doesn't give you real time. So in the Google Classroom, I have linked a stopwatch that does not appear to be blocked on my computer, and you can start the stopwatch. Big numbers are seconds. That's really all you need is the seconds. You push clear and it resets it. So you'll go through the data table on this document that you have on paper and record the times here. Okay. You'll have to get the masses off of the screen. So you have crates, a refrigerator, a man, a girl, and something called a mystery object. If you have time today, please go on to the friction part. If you don't finish the friction part today, we will pick up with that tomorrow. I would like you to at least be finished with up to motion on the paper and the Google document version as well. Your homework for tonight is to have your chapter 3 vocabulary finished for tomorrow. I'm not collecting that. Remember, we talked about that on Friday, but we are going to start chapter 4 this week. So you need to move on to chapter 4 vocab. So finish up chapter 3 and move on to chapter 4 tonight. If you have any questions, ask each other or send me a quick email and I'll do my best to answer during your time that you're in class. But if I don't get back to you, just hold them until tomorrow and we'll go over it tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.